The next question comes in from Jacob E. Turner on Instagram. How do you manage a good balance between mobility, flexibility, strength, and functional training? First of all, they are all interrelated, and I'll give an example of what I mean in a moment. But first of all, let's define what those words mean. Okay, so mobility is your ability to take your joints through their fullest range of movement whilst maintaining control. Okay, flexibility refers to your muscles and how pliable those muscles are, which obviously affects mobility. Strength is your ability to produce force, and functional training is a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think that people are using it correctly. So for functional training, for me, I look at the primary movement patterns. All right, these are the movements that we do every single day. So we're looking at hinge, squat, lunge, push, pull, twist, and carry. Okay, I like to keep it a little bit simpler, and I look at gait, which is walk, run, ride, swim, row, crawl, climb, jump, throw, and carry. We pick things up, we put things down in multiple directions, multiple planes of movement, and then we get up and we get down. Okay, whether that's getting up off the ground and then back down, or sitting down into a seat, etc. So when I look at functional movement, I'm looking at all of the movements that I do on an everyday basis. All right, so most people, when they go to the gym, they focus on isolating specific areas, okay, and targeting specific muscles. All right, that is isolating the systems rather than integrating the systems. So when I'm looking at training, particularly functional training, I'm looking at strengthening those movement patterns and movements that I'm doing on an everyday basis. All right, so let's go back to all of those things being interrelated. And the example that I'm going to give here is I've got an old rugby injury on my left ankle. So if I'm going into a strength-based session and I'm hitting some heavy squats, I need to mobilize my calves, I need to mobilize my ankles, I need to do some soft tissue work on my left calves and my feet, because if I drop down into a squat trying to focus on building strength through a full range of movement, my mobility on my left ankle is off. I don't have the same range of movement as I do on the right side. So what's going to happen as I drop down into that deep squat position, that mobility issue and the flexibility issue with the left calf is going to affect my ability to maintain equal balance and equal strength through both legs. Because I'm dropping down into that squat position and I can't drive my knee forward because of my lack of mobility through my left ankle, my hips shift across to the right. So that mobility issue on my left ankle then creates a strength discrepancy. So I'm making sure that I'm addressing that in my warm-up. Okay, now what I want to talk about next is implementing these things into your day. All right, now an example of how I do this is my flexibility work. I'm doing that in the sauna in the mornings, or first thing when I wake up in the morning. I'm going through a full body stretch and I'm addressing any areas of tension within my body, and I'm paying attention to any discrepancies. I'm paying attention to any muscular imbalances. I'm paying attention to where my body's tight so I can give it the love and the care that it needs. All right, then when I go into my training session, let's say I'm doing a strength session, I'm then going to mobilize. I'm going to do some soft tissue work using a foam roller, lacrosse ball, etc. Okay, loosen up what's tight, and then I'm going to do some activation work to strengthen what's weak. Okay, and that primes me to then go into my strength session. That allows me to increase my trainability for that training session. Okay, I'm addressing those areas that I need to allow me to get into good positions and connect to the muscles that I want to connect to. Again, strength and functional training is primarily working through the entire body. Okay, so we want to integrate all of those systems and create muscular tension, not only through the specific muscles that we're targeting, but we also want to create interconnectedness between all of the muscles throughout the entire chain of the body. So what I'd recommend doing is going and listening to my periodization episode. It was probably, I think I released that episode maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. So I go into quite a bit of detail. It's a 40-minute episode on periodization models, what periodization is, and how you can get the most out of a periodized training plan.